I'm Nadia Dunn. Welcome to CCL TV and our More Than Packages platform. We're here at WMX Americas in Miami. And joining me is the lovely Sheri from Haulystic. Sheri, thanks so much for being here today. Can you tell me a bit about your role and the company, please?
Thank you for having me in here. My name is Sheri Quadri. My role is as an owner of Haulystic. I gave birth to Haulystic, conceived it, given birth, and nurtured it over the years. We've come a very long way. We're a bit of a low-key business. Maybe not a lot of people know us, but we have a very extensive presence in the market. Haulystic is an e-commerce logistics parcel distribution business. We specialize in ground support, so we do a full end-to-end, but our specialization is bringing the product into a destination country. Obviously, the e-commerce parcels, that's what we specialize in. That's the only thing we do. We move heavy, fast fashion for some of the major brands worldwide. We bring into destination country, we custom clear it. Then we do the operational processing as required by our final mile provider, and then we distribute it accordingly to the destination. We also have an after-sale service, so we look after the customer service side for the customers who doesn't have a local presence within that country. So, for example, we had started Brazil 2 years ago, and it was a very difficult country to get into, especially with the growth in e-commerce. So we were pretty much the first ones to bring Asian customers into Brazil. And 2 years ago, just before pre-pandemic, we launched our local services in Sao Paulo, in Curitiba, where our team speaks the local language, they understand what the complexities are, and they can deal with that in the real time. So that's who we are in a nutshell.
And what does it mean to be at an event like WMX Americas? What are you hoping to get out of it?
These sort of events are very good for networking, to understand what the market trends are, where the markets are leading to. They say your technology is only good as yesterday, so there's always something new, something emerging coming up in the market. We're really here for a brand recognition, who we are. We work with global names, but very far and few people know us actually what we do. We may kind of strip over into very similar businesses. But what we've found is that everyone is adding a different perspective to it. Maybe our specialization is ground support and logistics, but someone else has a specialization in final mile. Someone has an overall view of an end-to-end. So it's just about taking all that learning through and meeting people and adapting to that trends, because the world is changing at a very fast pace. So our sole objective is to know what the market trends are, and also to get some recognition and knowing names in the market, like what we can do and what others can do, and how can we collaborate together to make it a bit more seamless service, if you like.
And the networking face-to-face again just feels so nice to, the Zoom meetings are great, but you can't beat being face-to-face.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, believe it or not, Haulystic 70% revenue comes from America, and we have clientele in America whom we haven't never met, and we have done business for over 2 years. And it was all done over Zoom meetings, video calls. But I think it came to a point where the virtual meetings could never actually replace a face-to-face. So yes, there has been a lot of it in making for some years, and we're glad to come back and see people physically, understand their view perspective, because in the virtual world you could easily get lost in translation, or actually I didn't mean that, or we wanted to get a different perspective on that specific topic. But now I think we were glad. That's why, as I said to you earlier at the start of this, we made a point to come in a week earlier to this place. And the whole purpose was not just having a holiday or a jolly time. It was about meeting our clientele, our foothold in America, and going through what we actually meant and did in last last 2 years. And what did that mean in reality, rather than just saying to you over the phone, like, or in a video call, yes, we're cleared, the operational spec is over 98.2%. What did that actually mean in practicality?
Yeah.
So I think they felt, or the reception was very warm for us. We've been to all our suppliers in America. We met the clientele, and they felt like it was very refreshing to see us, who we've been talking over 2 years, over 700 days, just over emails and video calls.
Yeah, that's crazy. And are there a lot of those people here today?
Yeah, some of them are here. Some of them are clientele, are major retailers and wholesalers. They were not able to make it, but they've got a presence in America. So we start off with JFK a couple of weeks ago. We've been around to Lax. We came down to Miami. So we're doing like a full merry-go-round by the time we have this opportunity. Not sure what's going to happen or how COVID is going to play up in coming months, but whilst it's open, we wanted to make the best use of it.
Now, you spoke about everything has been developing and changing over the last couple of years. Tell me how you've stayed one step ahead.
Obviously, the business has changed dramatically over the last 2 years. Well, we've been very blessed. When COVID hit us, our business had a vertical V-shape input. So we literally went down some millions of pounds of revenue to zero revenue over a month when we had the first lockdown. And that was 1 month. The whole world was trying to think, where do we go next, and how do we move in and get one step ahead with all the challenges. We had to sit back down, redraw the entire strategy, thinking what could and can help the customers at that time, because as a service provider, it's very important to deliver that service. The customer hardly sees any excuses or complications behind it. So we had to get all the heads down, back to the drawing board, redraw it. What are the available capacities across the globe, and what could you procure at? Obviously, there was a massive financial impact, uprise in pricing, the fuel prices, etc. And the customer was very hesitant as in what the world would look like in a year or 2 years or 5 years. So I would say the way we stayed ahead was proactive planning at one step ahead one step at a time. What I mean by that is, firstly, we have to overcome the challenges domestically, and in terms of the ground support, that's what we specialize in. How could we overcome that? So you may have heard of a severe driver shortage after in between the COVID and the Brexit and everything else. We are a massive fleet company. We've got 112 trucks running in Heathrow and Stansted and all over UK. We had to adapt and change to that very, very quickly. And likewise, in terms of operational spec, the labour prices have gone up dramatically in the market. So the challenge was also, how do we sustain and retain our talent within us? It took us time, and there was no fixes overnight. However, the proactive planning of what is coming the way and the strategic plans laid ahead has really helped us to overcome those challenges. And the business has seen a 200% dramatic increase since the lockdown. 2021 was very blissful. We're hoping to continue the trend. We're hoping the global expansion in 2022. And that's why such events are important, because you get people from all spectrum, all across the globe. You see now Middle East coming up. I've never seen that in 15 years of my parcel industry when we talked about Middle East. So they are very much emerging markets that we want to tap into as well, or we want to get into. However, there is an apprehension as what the land would look like on the other side. So I think we're there, but we've still got a long way to go ahead.
Fingers crossed. And what do you think about CCL TV being at the event?
Oh, I think it's a great concept. Firstly, I wasn't sure exactly what this program would do. However, by talking to you and your colleagues, it seems like you're here to to spread the knowledge and the voices of different businesses and take their perspective of what the land looks like. And I think, as I said, we all do in a very similar businesses, we all deal with parcels. However, I think this concept could lead to the harmony of how do we collaborate better in
Yes,
life, rather than seen as a competitors or someone someone who is taking a competitive edge against one. It seems like a more of a collaborative approach, and I think Rudy Bertie, he needs to be applauded for his efforts.
He does. He's a wonderful man.
That's what I hear, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's really lovely
Thank
to
you
see
for having me.
And thank you for watching CCL TV, brought to you by Aurora.